Hello, everybody. Welcome to Little Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel and drop a like on this video. Trying to hit 40k subs, so that subscription would be much appreciated. Today's video is about Giannis because he has started this season on an absolute tear. They are playing the New York Knicks tonight, so if you want to see just how ridiculous he's been, go ahead and tune into that game. But I wanted to talk about him before that, just for the first 3 games that he has done this year, because the numbers that he is putting up are absolutely insane. Currently, again, it's 3 games, so obviously these numbers will probably go down a little bit. He is averaging 36 points per game, 16 rebounds, with 4.7 of those being offensive rebounds. He is shooting 18 two-point field goal attempts per game, and he is shooting 68.5% on them. Speaking of which, he is at 68% field goal percentage, period. He has also hit his, very few amount of threes. Yeah, he's 4 for 6, which is technically, he's taking twice as many threes as he did last year, but not going to shoot 67% all year, to be sure. His free throw percentage is right around what it used to be. Actually, it's kind of weird. I didn't even notice just how much his free throw percentage has fallen off, because his first 3 years of NBA stardom, his MIP year to his MVP year, he averaged a 75% free throw percentage. This year he's down to 63, and he's been around there the last couple of years. But I digress. Absolutely bonkers numbers from Giannis. His true shooting percentage amounts to 72%, which is just fucking off the charts. He has by far and away the best PER in the NBA at 42.8. He is dominating the glass. He is dominating in the paint. I want to see what he's shooting right at the rim. From 0 to 3 feet, he is shooting 78.6%. while he is taking 70% of his shots from there. Good Lord. He is also shooting 50% on the floaters, so he has that going. Hasn't been hitting his mid-range shots, but he has been hitting the threes. I wanted to make this video just because we have kind of normalized this from Giannis. I think Giannis the last couple of years has consistently found himself getting shafted out of the MVP race when it's pretty much just a matter of people being used to it by now. I believe it was the 2023 MVP race, or no, maybe 22. Yeah, I think it was 22 that he was 3rd in MVP voting behind Embiid and Jokic. And it was my personal opinion that year, and I still stand by it, that it should have been Giannis this season. He did play a little bit less games, but I think Embiid barely played more games than him that season as well. Embiid only played 1 more game. I felt like Giannis should have won MVP that year, but we had already started getting used to the shit that he does. I think I also neglected to mention that he is averaging 7 assists per game, which would be his career high if he maintained that. At this point, Giannis has been doing the I'm carrying a large majority of the load for this team thing for quite a while. That is not, it's not a new phenomenon. However, that dial has been turned up even more this year, which a lot of people have been using as a reason to speculate on him possibly being traded, and I completely understand where that's coming from, because when you see a player of this caliber just not really having all that much help around him, it is natural to then go ahead and speculate about trade stuff. But as much as I would rather Giannis be in a situation where he doesn't have to put up 36, 16, and 7, I also do think that we should appreciate and enjoy when he is doing it. And I predicted he would win the scoring title this year. I predicted he would average upwards of 35 points per game this year. And through 3 games, the signs are looking pretty good for that. The other thing is he's only playing 32.7 minutes per game, which is basically the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the 5th lowest amount of minutes per game in his career. 2 of those 5 being from his first 2 seasons. So since he has been a star, this is the 3rd lowest amount of minutes that he has played. And the Milwaukee Bucks are 2-1. They lost a close game. Who the fuck did they lose to again? Yeah, to the Cavaliers. I watched that game literally today, so I don't know how I forgot it was the Cavs that quick. But close game versus the Cavs. I do kind of want to talk about the Bucks in general. First of all, Cole Anthony is a player who I have perpetually thought stinks. But he had one really, really good game where I think he had 28 points. Gary Trent as well as AJ Green have not disappointed so far this year. Trent's three-point percentage could be a little bit better, but I still love how high volume he has been. And then AJ Green is shooting an outstanding 59% on 5.7 threes per game this year. So the thing is with this team, and the thing that I've been saying about the Bucks going into this year, is I don't think they're very good, but they're also not terrible. Like, there's a bunch of solid role players on this team, plus Giannis, which I think is a situation that it caps the potential of them being a contender, but it doesn't necessarily cap the potential of them just being a good-ass NBA team in the regular season. Good enough for Giannis to get in MVP conversations. I also picked him to win MVP this year. However, I am a little bit hesitant on that at this point. I don't really feel solid about just about any prediction that I made this year because, as I like to say, the more I've learned about the NBA, the less confident I have gotten in my ability to predict it, because there's really just no way to have that much confidence in it. Taurean Prince also shooting 60% from three. Kevin Porter 67% from three. So, like, these numbers will probably dissipate a little bit, but this is a team full of shooters. AJ Green can shoot. Gary Trent can shoot. Kyle Kuzma's trash, but that's neither here nor there. Myles Turner, though. Myles Turner has been a pretty disappointing addition to this point. He is currently averaging 9.3 points on 10.7 shots. He's taking 5.7 threes a game at 23.5%. That is very far from ideal. His three-point shooting especially very far from ideal, because teams are kind of giving him the shot. From what I have seen, Myles has not been finding it hard to get open three-point looks, and I kind of soured on Myles throughout the course of this last playoff run, which I think says a lot, because just about every other Indiana Pacer I felt higher on them than I did going into the playoffs. But Myles Turner's offense got consistently worse as the playoffs went on. And something that I've also noticed is, even though he blocks some shots, he's really just not that phenomenal of a defender. Like, he has the shot blocking, but he really just does not do all that much else that impresses me on the defensive end. As of right now, he does have a pretty big on-off swing, but also he's definitely playing like an overwhelming amount of his minutes with Giannis. I haven't seen a lot of lineups that were Myles Turner without Giannis. Typically, when they go that way, they want to get Bobby Portis in there for some more offensive punch. So we will have to keep a lookout on Myles Turner. As always, overreaction, short term. I'm sure Myles Turner will be far better than he has been to this point. But I do think the fact that he's not all that great of a rebounder has helped Giannis get those numbers up. Not that Brook Lopez was exactly a great rebounder either, and I bet you actually, yeah, his rebound numbers are pretty comparable. I don't know. Giannis has just had that dog in him this year, more so than he usually does. And I've been seeing people, and I've said this myself, that, like, I'm never going to get used to what Wemby is doing, the physical anomaly that he is. I'm just never gonna get used to it. But people have kind of gotten used to Giannis, and like literally his last 4 seasons he has averaged 30 plus points per game. The season before that he averaged 29.9, so not too far off from that 30 piece. He averages 30.7 in his last 206 games on nearly 60% shooting, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 stocks. Like, the dude is just a monster. And like, I see people ranking SGA over him, and I'm just like, dude, I think SGA is one of the best guard of all time. This is like Shaq who can dribble. This is like Shaq who can average 6 assists per game. That's obviously a little bit reductive, but I just can't. People are just too used to it. I don't think people should be this used to it. What Giannis is doing is fucking baffling, and it will continue to be baffling until he eventually, succumbs to father time. But until then, I'm going to keep ringing the alarm bells. This is not normal. This is some crazy ass shit. And we as NBA fans should feel blessed by having such amazing talent in this league. But yeah, that is I've said my piece, I think.